Friends, thank you very much indeed for inviting me to speak to you today. And I'm very sorry that I can't be with you in person, because dealing with commercial business related crime is a critical part of our crime mission, not just because we want to get crime down, but because we also believe it's key to the levelling up agenda. The absence of crime, the absence of violence in particular in any neighbourhood, city or town, is critical to prosperity. It is a necessary precondition for an area to really fly from a commercial and economic point of view. And so the twin objective of lower crime and fewer victims and more prosperous neighbourhoods will be helped by the work we are doing, but in particular by the work that the NBCS are doing, and I hope by your gathering today. Now, key to that agenda, key to that collective mission, is a shared picture of what is happening. And that's why collaboration with the police and data, the reporting of crime, is so important. I encourage everybody, businesses, to report crime as much as possible, because I often point out to them that if they don't, it's a bit like that interesting philosophical notion. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to see it, does it make a sound? If a crime happens and no one reports it, how on earth are the police supposed to know? And so making sure that they have a clear picture of what is happening in an area means that the police are able to devote the appropriate resources and have the right kind of robust policing response that you are all looking for. Now, I know that the NPCS has been doing great work in this area, and in particular in Sussex, where the work they've been doing has shortened the time, made it much easier for businesses to report crime, and as a result they're getting a much better response from the police. This kind of practice needs to be spread across the whole of the UK. It's very important that it is founded, if you like, in a real partnership between business and the local police. That's why business crime prevention partnerships, business crime partnerships are so important, and I would encourage all of you to join them as much as you possibly can. Now, that is not where our work stops. As I hope you will know, through the National Retail Crime Steering Group, we've been pushing a number of strands of work, ranging from our Shop Kind campaign, which I hope you're all participating in, administered by the ACS. Thank you very much to them for their work. Advertising the notion to people that they should be kind, respectful, calm, non-violent, non-criminal in a retail environment, and that both customers and staff deserve an air of respect in which we can all prosper, exchange goods for money in a profitable way for both sides. That campaign has been advancing. I'm very pleased that we put money behind it. I've certainly seen it out there, and I hope you're feeling it's making a difference. The steering group also put heavy pressure on me to bring a change in the law, which we've now done, introducing an aggravating factor in sentencing for assaults upon retail workers. Sadly, during and after the pandemic, we saw a rise in those assaults. That has to be dealt with, and we will be monitoring very carefully the work that's taking place and the sentences that are being handed out as people are put forward for that awful offence. Everybody in a retail environment, but most particularly the staff, deserve to know that they are safe and there are adequate deterrents there for criminals in the first place. And we want to see that number falling very significantly, along with all our other crime types. And in order to do that, to help with that, we are, of course, adding the other big area of capacity, which is the rise of the number of police officers. Happy to report to you that our mission to get to 20,000 is going extremely well. Last published stats have us at nearly 14,000 so far. I'm pushing to the finish line next March, so in just under a year's time, but I'm confident that we'll get there early. Number of forces have already recruited their allocations for now year 3, and it's looking good from a trajectory point of view. Remember, most of those police officers, because they're early in their career, will be out in the street, in uniform, in the neighbourhoods, next door to your shops, hopefully walking up and down your high streets, making sure that you feel safe and that you are safe. And that's why, circling back around to where I started, it's so important that you work in collaboration with the police. Right? The fight against crime, sadly, is too often just left to the police. And yet we all have to put our shoulders to the wheel of dealing with this societal menace. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've seen rises in street violence. We've seen rises in neighbourhood crime, acquisitive crime. But along with the police, we are getting on top of it, and numbers are once again falling very significantly. But they can't do it on their own. They need you as businesses, as employers, as property owners, as people who have a financial interest as well as a societal interest in a particular neighbourhood or area, to come alongside them and help them by building the picture, pointing out who are the prolific offenders, allowing them to get ahead of them, apprehend them or deter them, and basically drive crime down. Now, there's physical things we can do. The Safer Streets Fund is out there at the moment, looking for bids, if you like, for CCTV, hardening targets, putting in alley gating, basically anything physical that we can get our hands on, make it tougher for criminals to do their work. The MOJ are coming alongside now, putting GPS tags on the ankles of prolific acquisitive offenders, shoplifters, burglars coming out of prison, getting tagged for a year or so, so we can track them and put them next to a crime if we need to. So we're doing everything we can. We're throwing the kitchen sink at this particular effort. We hope and believe that you will come alongside. I hope today will be about talking how you can do more to help us on that mission as we devote enormous amounts of time and resource to making you safer and your businesses more prosperous. Thanks very much indeed.